Hi, Labbers! Yes, thank you guys for tuning in to Character Tuesday! Yes! So, I am so excited to be here with you guys for Character Tuesday. And as you can see, I'm all glammed up, I'm all dolled up, yes. Clearly because this is the reason it's Character Tuesday. So, I am in character today. So you guys must be wondering, after last week and the week before, when we did character planning and we went into different types of characters and we did layers with onions and we broke down the different layers that we should have for our characters and making it interesting, you must be wondering what's up for this week. So guys, this week the reason I have this look is because this week I'm going to be exploring with you Labbers two main types of characters. So of course, I am almost certain you all know that there are different types of characters in every single piece of literary work. So for today, what we're going to be looking at is the two main ones, and I'm going to give you a bonus one after, but the two main ones that we all know of. And these two ones are the protagonist and the antagonist. Now, if you're not quite sure what that is, let me just break it down for you really quickly because I like to keep things simple. So a protagonist is your hero. Your protagonist is the main attraction. Your protagonist, as Jamaicans like to say, your hero can't did it. So if you're watching a movie, we're always watching to see the survivability of our heroes. Excuse me, we're always looking to see what's next for the hero. So if the movie ends on a cliffhanger note, then what we're expecting is that our hero, of course, is going to rise from those ashes just like a phoenix, and then the next episode or the next series is going to have our hero, living it up somewhere hidden and so on. So for this week, as I said, protagonist and antagonist, gave you the idea of what the protagonist is. Now the antagonist, as we all like to know, is your villain. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a good villain. Give me a good villain any day. The villains keep things interesting, especially the ones who really connect with the protagonist on a personal level. So then it becomes more than just, ooh, I want to get you. It becomes more of, man, I want to be you. I really enjoy a great antagonist role. So let's get into it. For our protagonist, as I said, this person is the main character. This is the focus of your story. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing two faces this week. So my first face is the protagonist face. This face is the party girl. It's the main attraction. It's the everyday. And I like to give you guys this analogy because it helps us create an imagery for our characters when we're building them. Because characters always will have one face, but also be multi-layered. We always aim in writing those bestsellers. We always aim to make our characters multi-dimensional. That gives our characters a little oomph. It gives them the meat. It gives them the substance that you need as a reader to keep you reading and as a writer to keep you relevant in that market. So remember, your protagonist always must have that substance. And as you can see, this face, it has a substance. It has a pop of color, green, purple, and gold. And then we have some gold highlights and we have a red lippy. Who doesn't love a red lippy, right? So that's the universal thing for both the protagonist and the antagonist. That's that red lippy. So for the protagonist now, we tend to focus on the main character a lot. We tend to build a story around the main character. And a most important thing is that when you're creating your protagonist, do include flaws. See? Yeah. But it still looks good. So I aim to include a few flaws to ensure that it keeps relevance, but more than anything else, it seems real. It's not artificial. It's not mechanical, because no one likes something or likes an experience that's artificial or mechanical. So we have to create a main character or a protagonist that has flaws. That gives you a better representation of real life, okay? And then the next thing is, if you haven't developed your protagonist from the different experiences right through to who that protagonist is, and have the layers that we spoke about several weeks ago and continue to talk about, then you're not going to have a protagonist that really is of substance. And remember, no protagonist, no story, guys. And if you need that bestseller quality story, you need to have a protagonist that really sells. And then the next thing, an example of a protagonist in Romeo and Juliet, those two are the protagonists in the entire story. That's of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. And my personal favorite, in Power, guess who? Ghost is the protagonist. And I'm such a big Ghost fan. Huge! Anyways, moving on, our antagonist. So, for our antagonist, as you know, this is the villain. And I want to remind you guys that the villain is a character who directly opposes the protagonist. Now, no story is complete without having that antagonist. And more so, the antagonist not only opposes the protagonist, but the antagonist or the villain is supposed to undermine. So you're opposing, but you're doing things to tear down that person's character. You're undermining the protagonist. That's one of the qualities and characteristics of a good antagonist. And one thing to let you guys know, not all villains or antagonists are bad. They're termed the bad guy and they play the bad guy, but not all of them are bad. What I like to do when doing my fiction is I like to show bad things happening to the antagonist to help build that suspense and to help build the background that as a result of all these bad things, the antagonist really just had no other option but to be bad. But antagonists are not always bad. A good example is Lord Voldemort in the Harry Potter series, and a great example of an antagonist in the, well, I would tell you in the Power series, but let's not go there. I have to give you that bonus before we go. The last one that I wanted to look at, so I gave you protagonist, antagonist, and the last one is a sidekick. Now guys, sidekicks, as you know, are the ride and die people. Those people make the protagonist who he or she is. Now, the importance is that that protagonist is the sidekick is the second to the protagonist. So without the second, then there would be no first. So you have to build a great character for your sidekick. And an awesome example of this, of course I'm going to use Power, is Tommy. Tommy was an awesome sidekick for Ghost in Power. So guys, if you get the chance, do watch the Ghost series. I'm all about that live. And I hope you guys appreciate that look. We gave you the antagonist and the protagonist today. So guys, I want you to keep it great, labbers. Keep it relevant. And hey, use up your protagonist and your antagonist and sidekick when writing those awesome fiction series. Thank you guys for tuning in to Character Tuesdays. And I hope you tune in next week where I'm going to also have another surprise for you. Have a great rest of your day, labbers. Mwah. Bye for now.